Good evening, I'm Scott Gross. Breaking news this evening as firefighters and volunteers are having a hard time holding down a fire near Wall. New at noon, 2 more visitors had close encounters with Custer State Park bison yesterday. The polls are in and Hillary Clinton is pulling away from Donald Trump. What has voters changing their minds? Those stories and more on Dakota Territory News at 5:30. Good evening, I'm Scott Gross. Thank you so much for joining us. Breaking news on the Dakota Access Pipeline.
I'll tell you all about that in a little bit.
Thank you, David. More breaking news tonight. We received information of a fatal shooting in Pine Ridge during a basketball game. Malia, we can see the havoc in the video, but can you describe what it felt like being at the scene?
Well, when I first hopped out of the news vehicle, there was the overwhelming smell of smoke, so many of us were coughing. I still have a little bit of a cough. Very foggy, and then since the wind was blowing very hard, dust was going into our eyes too. So a lot going on, a lot of people on scene.
We've heard reports that some people may have lost some livestock. If not that, what are some of the other big losses?
Well, I've heard some people talking about losing their livestock or having to put some of them down because they were on fire. So I can't confirm that, but I do know that people did lose their homes, barns and other structures. And there was also a 5-car accident on I-90 because of the low visibility. And there were also some injuries because of that. Right now, we don't know the extent of the injuries, but we do know that Life Flight was called out to the scene.
Wow. Thank you so much, Malia. Great work today. Be sure to tune in to Good Morning Dakota Territory tomorrow morning for the latest on the Cottonwood fire. On to another fire, this one in Rockerville earlier this morning. You can see the charred remains of this building on Main Street across from the Gaslight restaurant. Here at South Middle School, a little rebel pulled a fire alarm much like this one about a half hour before school let loose. Now, what that did is the fire department was called in. Voters ushered outside. They were out there for 15 minutes. And because of that, polling here at South Middle School will now be pushed back 15 minutes. So you can come here until 7:15.
Quarters.
Thank you, Stuart. I'm in downtown Rapid City at the Rushmore Hotel with Amendment V backer Bill Walsh. What do you like about Amendment V?
Scott?
Thanks, Helene. When you think of Sturgis, you think of motorcycles, but what drink do you think of? You got it right, Jack Daniels. I'm joined now by Jeff Arnett. Thank you, Helene. I'm down here at 6th and Lozelle in Sturgis with country singer Frankie Ballard. As you can see behind me now, they have it pretty well contained. You can see some of the workers down there, still a lot of smoke here. Right now I'm going to bring in the incident commander, Steve Esser. Steve, if you want to come in here. When did this fire actually start? I heard sometime last night. You're the manager of all the rides here at the Central States Fair. A couple of years ago, the only requirement was to have a liability insurance. 2 years ago, those changed. What are the new laws, at least in the state of South Dakota? It's back to school week in Rapid City, and it's important to remember that everyone plays a role when it comes to safety.
Social media removes a lot of the personal consequences.
Mindy Cronin shares the same concerns many parents, including myself, have regarding the dangerous concoction of teens and social media. Technology is always changing. It's hard to keep up, so how can we protect our kids from the temptations of social media and the predators that may lurk behind the screens? Scott Gross here from U.S. Bank Stadium. The Minnesota Vikings improved to 4-0, defeating the New York Giants in Monday Night Football. Here at Hazeltine and National, I'm on hole number 1, as you can see right here. This is where the players are going to tee off Friday morning, starting at 7:30. It's our Pennywise Wednesday segment, joined by Paula Vogelzang. You've got some very interesting and informative hacks.
Yes.
Welcome back. We've got some props today. I'm going to tell you what these snowshoes are all about just a little bit later, but first I'm going to introduce you to 2 people I'm very excited to talk to today. Mary Cohens and Linda Allers, both with the Artemis House in Spearfish. The 2nd year in a row, Stevens won the cookie eating contest, but he had a close competitor. You were right there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike. Helene, Safe Families is not foster care, and it's not about adopting. It's about being there for someone who's going through a tough time. In a Dakota News Extra, You Cry, I Cry, I take you inside of the home of one of these amazing families.
We want to see her do well, and she needs her mom to do well.
This is baby Hayden and her quite unusual tale. It actually starts where a lot of stories end.
I was helping with a funeral.
Mickey Pazenka was volunteering for her church.
I laughed because I said I have a disease called You Cry, I Cry. That's how I ended up in the kitchen, because I didn't want to be like the woman nobody knew who cried at the funeral the whole time.
But it was there that the pastor's wife told Mickey about the Safe Families program and a little girl who needed a home.
And so I remember leaving the church going, she is crazy. She know we have 6 kids? I'm like, there's no way. But it kept playing in my mind.
Like a broken record playing over and over in her head, Mickey just could not shake the thought. And after some more prayers, she approached her husband, Mike, with this radical idea.
There's a woman who's in prison who is about to give birth within about a month, and there's no one to take her baby. And then we decided we needed to talk to our kids about it and see where their thoughts were, and you know, if this is something that they would want to do. And I was extremely proud and moved because every one of them said, Mom, we have to help her.
But even that wasn't enough to cement the decision until
I get to church, and that's the weekend that Pastor David announced that we were starting a prison ministry. That was it. I left. I called Mike about it, and he goes, "We're getting a baby, huh?" I was like, "Yep."
It was a yes.
There wasn't any question.
We're crazy, but we're good crazy, and we could bring her some peace of mind.
now it was a race against time as the baby needed a home 30 days after its birth in prison, or else on day 31.
If it wasn't for us in Safe Families, she was in that place where she had no one. There was no one else that would come and take her baby, so she would have lost her baby.
And then one by one, miracles started to fall into place.
I called Christy Nome's office, and they were amazing. Just
little miracles like that through the whole
process. I posted on Facebook that we were going to be part of this program called Safe Families, and that we were going to be taking in a newborn, and we need everything.
Just packages started showing up at the front door.
I mean, it was amazing.
Everything and anything.
And what was thought to be a short-term stay now has surpassed 15 months. So how do you not get attached?
If you as a parent were in a crisis, and I mean you're in the worst crisis of your life that you can't care for your kids, you're worried about their safety or well-being, would you want somebody that wouldn't get attached? You're the exact person these parents or these kids need. They need somebody to be able to love them. The kids are going through a crisis too. Their parents aren't around right now. So you're exactly who needs to step up is somebody. I wouldn't want somebody that doesn't get attached.
Now, an update on the situation. Hayden's mother received parole in January. Now, she'll be in the Rapid City Passages program for the next 6 months, and if all goes well, she will be reunited fully with Hayden this summer.
Get them deep and make them weep.
James Carpenter has been casting his line in the creeks of the Black Hills since 1990.
Yeah, my mom was a big fisherman in the family. She grew up on the Delta area up in Sacramento, so she was a big striper fisherman and catfish. And I tried to get her converted over.
While he may not have converted the person who introduced him to fishing, he certainly has taken his passion to the extreme.
You know, I'm pretty tenacious. It's an obsession, like I said, and so I've spent one day. I spent up below Pactola. There was one fish rising, and I honestly spent 2 hours. Everything in this box trying to get him, but I finally got him.
And his best day fishing in the Black Hills? Well, you remember the blizzard in October 2013, don't you?
Right when that blizzard was coming in, my wife said, you got a screw loose. There's something wrong with you. But I had above Canyon Lake that day. Because down in the valley there, I think the winds were like 70 miles an hour, but it was one of my best days fishing. I think I caught like 7 fish, and then none of them were under like 19 inches.
Okay, that's a little unorthodox, but not quite obsessive. Not until you hear how many days a year James is out fly fishing.
Fortunately, with my job, that gives me ability to fish 205 plus days a year. So this has become more than a passion, it's more of an obsession.
I set out to see for myself. I joined James and his daughter Tiffany near the Pactola Reservoir for a little fly fishing experience of my own.
He just loves to help people. A lot of times I'll be fishing and I'll look downstream and there he is talking to somebody. And he'll sometimes spend more time talking to somebody and pulling things out of his box to give to somebody than he does fishing sometimes. And I think he would be perfectly happy not catching a fish all day, but watching somebody that he helped catch a fish.
And that statement couldn't be more evident as the pole was handed to me for my very first cast.
Slow down. It's really not bad.
Not for
Honestly,
your first time.
If this is your first time casting a fly rod, that was pretty good. I'd be so awesome if fish hit for him.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah!
And almost on cue came some rookie luck.
You can. Oh, you just had a fish take it.
Oh.
You just had a fish hit that fly.
And my own tale of the one that got away. James Carpenter is the troutman, and he's hooked on fishing.
Every fish to me is a trophy, big or small. I love them all.
You can find him online, you can ask any questions you'd like, and you can even post your own catch of the day.
Black Hills Gold right there.
And a quick update on James, he's still out fly fishing. He nabbed these hogs on the Pactola Reservoir just about a month ago. His new personal records at 27 inches. Right now in your news at 5:30, breaking news as high winds fuel a fast-spreading prairie fire near Wall, shutting down I-90 all the way to Kadoka.
Here we take a look at the winds right now. Thankfully, those are going to decrease tonight. Unfortunately, they're back up tomorrow. I'll have those details in a second.
We'll take you to the 6th Annual Cruiser Car Show and Street Fair and show you a few neighborhood cars that stood out. Those stories and more on Dakota Territory News at 5:30. Good evening, I'm Scott Gross. Breaking news this evening as firefighters and volunteers are having a hard time holding down a fire near Wall. Here is video and pictures of the fire sent in to us from our viewers. Here is what we know right now. I just got off the phone with Ralph Gibas, a volunteer with the Phillip Fire Department. The fire has moved through 3 counties. The fire is nowhere near contained. It traveled south from Cottonwood, and now the wind is shifting the fire east. The fire is heading towards Highway 73, and it could jump the highway once there. The fire has jumped some roads already. At 3:27 this afternoon, it was announced that I-90 is shut down from Wall to Kadoka, both east and westbound. The shifting winds make containing this difficult and hard to handle. Firefighters and volunteers from Interior, Phillip, Kadoka, and Wall are all on the scene with fire marshals and the Forest Service. Various other people are helping with water, tractors, and discs. Our Malia Van Ostrand is near the fire with the very latest. We'll go to her now. Malia?
Yes, Scott, I am at exit 131 near the missile site, and as you can see behind me, a lot of this area has been burned by the fire right now. They don't know how big the fire is, but they do know that it's affected 3 counties and it is moving east. So right now it's from Wall to Kadoka. Lots of ranchers have moved their cattle out of the way because the fire continues just to move this direction to the east. And so there are multiple crews right now. There's 25 crews in the area where I am, but there's people all the way from Black Hawk, Pennington County, you name it. They're just all over. So right now we don't have much information, but we will be able to update you at 10 o'clock, and we'll update you on social media. So watch out for us, Twitter, Facebook. We'll have more details on this later.
All right, thank you very much, Malia. There will be a press conference at 7:30 at the Welcome Center near exit 131 where Malia is right now. We'll have that free tonight at 10 o'clock. On to another fire, this one in Rockerville early this morning. Now you can see the charred remains of this building on Main Street across from the Gaslight Restaurant. Appears to be part of the old general store in Rockerville. The area is currently taped off with a fire line, and the public is asked to stay out. Officials say they were able to quickly put out the fire with help from other surrounding agencies. Keystone, Rapid City, Hill City, and Whispering Pines also responded to the fire, but there's no word yet on what sparked the flames. Straight ahead, have you seen a teal pumpkin lately? I'll explain shortly after meteorologist David Stradley brings us our forecast first. Now, David, tell us about the winds that are causing a lot of havoc in trying to control the fire today.
They really are. It's been windy since this morning. It's continuing right now. Taking a look at winds, it's about 13 miles per hour to the northwest in Kadoka, but it's even windier in Buffalo and even Baker. Thankfully, it's all up that way. The good news is this wind is going to diminish this evening, so as that dies down, it's going to help the firefighters contain the fire a little bit more. And as we take a look at satellite and radar, this is actually the smoke plume from the fire. You can see it starting near Kadoka, and it spreads, and it's pretty much wide. So pretty much from Murdo all the way to Kadoka. I-90 is probably has some pretty low visibility at the moment, so if you are traveling east, do take your time. Now, those winds do diminish. We're in the 50s this evening. We wake up 47, 66 in the afternoon. We are breezy, so that's not going to be good for that fire if it's still going on tomorrow, but I'll have more details coming up in a little bit.
Thank you, David. Now an update on a fire that is fully contained. Fire crews wanted to make sure to get the Battle Mountain fire in Hot Springs under control last night before the winds picked up. Crews were able to do so, and today, local and state crews are continuing mop-up efforts. The fire burned over 20 acres on Friday and Saturday, and luckily no structures were threatened and no evacuations were issued. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Sheridan police say a man was killed in a home intrusion early this morning in Sheridan. Police say they got a call about 3 o'clock this morning from a woman in the home who told them an unknown intruder broke in. Police say a man in the home tried to get the intruder to leave, but the man refused. Authorities have not released the names of the people involved. Even though they're not finished with the second phase, the contract has been awarded for the third and final phase of Mount Rushmore Road reconstruction. Thursday, the South Dakota Department of Transportation officially awarded the $9.1 million contract to low bidder Complete Concrete of Rapid City. $7.5 million for the project. The middle portion of Mount Rushmore Road will be paid by the state, since it is a state highway. Rapid City will pitch in $1.5 million for the city's portion, mostly for burying the water and sewer lines. The third phase will start at St. Patrick Street in mid-November. Crews are laying concrete now in the second phase and should finish up in the beginning of December. Reed Construction out of Aberdeen has done the first 2 phases. Yesterday, Target had their hiring event, and today was Shopko's turn. This is the first holiday hiring event at the Rapid City Shopko, and store manager Lee Cruz says it's been nothing but a successful so far. The store is looking to hire about 25 to 30 new employees for the holiday season, but will also find a full-time position for those employees after January 1st. The store is hiring cashiers, front-end staff, general merchandise, and e-commerce employees. Cruz says they can never have too many good employees.
Anyone that has a little bit of excitement in them, a little bit of holiday energy, we're willing to have fun with them this year.
The open interviews run through 7 o'clock tonight, and again tomorrow they'll run from 3 until 7 o'clock. It is well known to many people that the Cornerstone Rescue Mission is a place to get back on your feet. People down on their luck travel from all over the United States to the Black Hills looking for a fresh start. The mission provides case management that helps people find jobs, housing, along with many other benefits. During the last cold stretch, the mission had 26 people sleeping on the floors. Now, besides the limited space, the mission also needs more volunteers.
We always need help serving downstairs in the kitchen. You know, anything during the summer months. We've got painting we need to do outside. Our staff here, when it comes to the cleaning, our guests that stay here, they are all assigned a chore to do.
If you're interested in donating your time to volunteer, please call the Cornerstone Rescue Mission in Rapid City. Kids with allergies no longer have to get the short end of the stick on Halloween. The Teal Pumpkin Project is making an effort to bring awareness to food allergies while also allowing children to participate in the joy of trick-or-treating. All you have to do is place a teal pumpkin outside your door on Halloween to let children and parents know that you'll be giving out treats other than candy for those with allergies. This is a national movement that is designed to create a safer Halloween and for anyone to participate in. Our very own Rapid City native Miranda Andrew has joined the movement.
Majority of the candy that we collected, my son couldn't have because of his food allergies. And then we found out that there was a way to recognize which houses had something that was safe. And so we definitely wanted to be one of those houses for kids too.
Common alternative treats are glow sticks, stickers, and peel-on tattoos. Straight ahead, we'll tell you about a local political debate, plus old-school Chevys, Firebirds, and Cadillacs. We take you to today's Cruiser Car Show when Dakota Territory News at 5:30 returns.